Hello and good evening. You are joining me for the final feature race of Tier 5 Season 16 at Deep Forest Reverse layout. And last we left our heroes in this fight, we had a very tight battle for the championship. In first place was Juhofin, second place Rocket, third place for Danger Mouse, and fourth place for Obi-Wan, fifth for Boa. All of these drivers separated by just about 18 points, with anyone's chance to win the Drivers' Championship. And in the sprint race, we saw a real stroke of bad luck for Juho after he finished outside of the top 10, and Rocket in turn managed to grab second place for the sprint race. So let's see if Juho or any other of the championship rivals will be able to seal the deal in the feature race here at Deep Forest, or if Rocket will continue his fairly strong form in the last few races. So, without further ado, let's go through our grid here for the feature race. In 16th place, we have Crackavelli, Balaji in 15th, 14th for Lord Hans, Juho in 13th, Obi-Wan in 12th. So these two are gonna face an uphill battle here in the feature race if they're going to aim for the championship. 11th place for HK, 10th place for our sprint race winner Chicken Picnic, 9th place for Rocket, 8th place for Khan, 7th for Danger Mouse, 6th place for Dr. ST, starting on 5th is Killave, Boa in 4th place, Chaos Root in 3rd, Schumacher in 2nd, and Monkan starting on pole position for the feature race. So without further ado, let's get started and see how this race unfolds. 5 red lights and we're off. A steady start, of course, with the rolling start here, though it's a very long straight to the first braking zone, and we might still see some surprises. I know in tier 2 there were some crashes up into this turn already, so it's nice to see everyone is keeping it nice and clean. But let's head on to the head of the pack, and we've already had a bit of a dramatic moment. Let's see what happened to Monkan and Schumacher here at the hairpin. So Schumacher dives on the inside and pushes his teammate rather wide. They both go very wide. Bo had a bit of a contact with Kjosrud, who is now promoted into the first place, and Kilev had a bit of argy-bargy with another car and loses out a couple of positions because of that. Monkan shuffled down into 4th place with Chaos leading the race, Boa in strong second. So Boa already challenging for the win, forced to the outside by Chaos, and doesn't manage to make anything out of it, as we see HK, Obi-Wan and Khan going 3 wide there at the exit of the corner, and that is never going to work. Bit of sideways action between Juho and Obi-Wan as well, and Crackavelli having a half a second penalty already picked up from somewhere. But out in front, Chaos Druid leading the race with Monkan and Boa going side by side through these twisty bits here. Down in the final hairpin, Monkan goes defensive and closes the door in front of Boa's BMW. Chaos Druid elects to try and break the tunnel early on, and we also see Dr. ST and Danger Mouse going side by side here on the start-finish straight, with Chicken Picnic already up into 7th place. Rocket hasn't made any progress yet, he's still in 9th position. Again, a bit of a wide moment there from Monkan, it seemed, but he manages to hold it. He's on the outside line right now, side by side with Bo, and manages to just get ahead of him. So these two are locked into a very tight battle here. And Bo breaks nice and early, manages to keep it fairly safe. But what happened to Monken? Let's ride on board with him to see what actually happened here. So he's braking, and I think he just outbroke himself and just found the barrier, which is very unfortunate. Loses a lot of positions here, slots into 7th, just behind Key Life, and Chicken Picnic is already chomping at the bits here to find a way past, though he's being shown the outside. Bit of contact between Monken and Chicken, and Monken unfortunately pushes Rocket just a little bit wide, and that shuffles him down into 11th place. So a lot of drama here as we join Chicken going round the outside of Kiliff in the twisty bits here. Fantastic overtake there. I think Kiliff must have had a bit of a moment somewhere so that Chicken can have that overspeed, but we saw in the sprint race Chicken had fantastic pace. Ology had a bit of a moment and is shuffled down into last place, unfortunately. As Dr. Resty now dives on the inside of Boa. Bo breaks very deep and wide and loses a position to Dr. Resty because of it. Chaos Druid driving off at the moment with the lead of the race. This is working very much in his favor. Rocket has recovered up to 10th place after that bit of incident, and now is looking to go on the inside of Monken and dive for the hairpin. He has the inside line, breaks nice and late, and just about manages to grab the position of Monken. Juho shuffled down into 14th place, so this is definitely a race to forget already for him, and we're at the start of the feature. He might still recover though, of course. Chaos Druid under serious pressure by Dr. Resty. Chaos on the hard tires, whereas Dr. Resty is on the mediums as well as Bo, and Bo manages to just find a way to put his car on the inside line for the hairpin and is already challenging Dr. Resty for 2nd place. Great action there by Boa. Chaos Druid switches between the two drivers, giving slipstream to one then the other. And these two are very close to each other here in the first hairpin. Chaos Druid closes the door on the inside, 3 wide at the exit of the corner. Fantastic action by these 3 cars side by side, the 3 of them. Just about Boa in the lead of this pack of 3 cars, but yeah, Chaos Druid slots behind Boa and Dr. Resty, makes it 3 wide on the stop for the corner as well, and Willie managed to get it stopped just about, but Boa manages to do a switch over and get that position off of him. Dr. Resty has picked up a 1.5 second penalty, and what is this that we see here? Chicken Picnic is already up into 4th, looking at the back of these cars. It's going around the outside of Dr. Resty, and oh, that was some contact there between Chicken and Dr. Resty. As Bo has now driven a bit forwards, Chaos Druid on the hard tires will be struggling to keep these medium tires runners behind him for the moment, as Dr. Resty will now serve his penalty. Rocket already looking to challenge Obi-Wan for 7th place, but Obi-Wan goes very defensive, covers off any potential moves. As let's just go back and see, Chicken Picnic managed to nick 2nd place off of Chaos Druid. Dove on the inside, and Chaos Druid either had a bit of contact there with Danger Mouse or just a bit of power slide on the exit, but very unfortunate for him as he's now down into 3rd place. Kilife in the Ferrari, looking to find a way past Danger Mouse, dives on the inside, and oh, that's not what you want to see. Bit of a push there, but he managed to wait and give the position back to Danger Mouse, but this has forced him into the clutches of both Obi-Wan and Rocket right behind him. As we see Bo just managing to try and open up a bit of gap here. Actually, at the end of this lap we'll be able to see if it's been enough and what his tire delta will be compared to Chicken Picnic. So let's see how they're doing. So that's a 1:28.6 for Bo and a 27.7 for Chicken Picnic, so he's definitely catching up to them. 3rd place for Chaos Druid, and Danger Mouse trying to chase him now. And let's stick here with Rocket. 7th place for him at the moment. Dives on the inside of Dr. Resty and just about manages to get the inside line, but doesn't quite have the corner exit speed. And he's now forced to slot in behind Dr. Resty. Let's see if he'll be able to go for a move here at the exit of the tunnel. Just about, he has a look on the inside, but Dr. Resty covers it off nicely. Let's have a quick look at Kilife challenging Obi-Wan for 5th place. Obi-Wan goes very wide, but this is not a place where you can usually go for an overtake. So Kilife doesn't have much of an opportunity to gain a position there. Oh, just power slides on the exit of the corner and finds the wall. Very unfortunate for him. A small mistake and is instantly lost 3-4 positions as Juho has climbed up into 12th place. And my oh my, what have I missed here? On the start-finish straight, Chicken Picnic deep into the slipstream of Bo and just manages to get ahead of him on the straight. Great pace by the McLaren on this track. So already before the hairpin, he was able to have the position sorted. Brakes very deep, but I guess that's just the line he wants to take. And he has taken 1st position and will probably start trying to open up a gap now, as Danger Mouse is still trying to find a way past Chaos Druid for 3rd place. Chaos Druid goes defensive, covers off the inside line, which was very smart to do. Bit of a moment there on the exit, a bit slower than Danger Mouse, but there's no way for Danger Mouse to find a way past, as these two are line astern right now. With Obi-Wan and Dr. Resty right behind them, about to join in on the fun here. Chaos Druid, of course, on the hard tires. I think I'm having a quick look through everyone. So Chaos Druid, Kilife, Khan are the only people on the hard tires. So he's been doing very good to hold on to the pace of the lead cars for the moment, as Danger Mouse has managed to get alongside and just about stay ahead of Chaos Druid. Will these two manage to get it stopped? No, Danger Mouse has a very big moment there on the grass and just slides out of the corner and loses a lot of positions due to that. Very unfortunate for Danger Mouse. His race was going fantastic so far. Now Obi-Wan has managed to find a way past Chaos because of this. And Dr. Resti is already looking left, looking right, trying to find a way past. He dives on the inside, but there's just nowhere to go there with these cars. Rocket is in on the fun as well in 6th place now, looking at the back of this train here that has sort of formed, and oh, that looked like a bit of a moment between Rocket and Chaos Druid there. It seemed they went side by side and just wasn't enough room for the two cars, but as a result Rocket has climbed onto 5th place here for the feature race at the moment. Let's have a quick look at our race leader. A 27.8 this time around, 28.3 for Bo in 2nd place, so the gap is widening. 29.4 for Obi-Wan in 3rd place. Dr. Resti is looking behind him to try and catch up. HK has managed to gain a lot of positions from all the commotions. He's up into 6th, although he's now under pressure from a recovering Chaos Druid. Chaos goes for the inside line at the hairpin, but couldn't quite make it work. Danger Mouse has a 1 second penalty as well to serve, so that just adds insult to injury after the moment he had there. And 3rd place, Obi-Wan covers off the inside but breaks very deep, and this has allowed Dr. Resti to just swoop in and take 3rd position off of him, with Rocket behind, chomping at the bits to find a way past these cars. At this point it's not certain if he has better pace than them or just the fighting between the cars is what has caused him to catch up to them like this. Balaji has bit for the hard tires, as our race leader still lapping comfortably into the high 27s, which is a lot faster than his current main competitors on the track. So we're just starting lap 10 here, and it seems that nearly everyone has managed to slot into a bit of a position here. As we see Chaos Druid go on the inside of Khan and manage to get 7th place. Must have had a moment that has forced him to fall back a little bit, but he's still trying to recover. Of course, Chaos and 2 Ferraris here are on hard tires. And we see Juho has managed to move up into 10th place now, so slowly but surely he's going up the order. A long way to go, of course, from this race still. A few very close battles here, and it's a bit difficult to follow them all. Interesting that Monkan and Chumaka have fallen down the order like this. Would not have expected it. As Rocket goes into the pits to get off the medium tires on lap 10. That's an interesting strategy call. I believe he's looking to undercut them. Would be interesting if he goes on the hards for the rest of the race or not. And this has allowed Obi-Wan and Dr. Resti just a bit of breathing room here, as HK is about to serve a 1 second penalty and will surely lose a couple of positions due to this. Let's see what will happen here with this little bit of an HK train we have here. Chaos Druid gets past, Khan gets past as well, and Kill Life gets past HK also. As what do we have here? Apology has spun. He's actually about to be lapped maybe by the race leader. As we rejoin Chaos in 5th, holding steadily, still these two Ferraris behind him who are trying to find a way to get past Juho up into 8th at the moment, and HK has fallen down the order down into 9th after serving that penalty. Rocket out of the pits, he's in 12th place right now. He's on the medium tires again, so Rocket is definitely going for a two-stopper. That's something interesting we saw, I believe, last race as well. A lot of cars went for a two-stop strategy, but went for one-stop strategy, but Rocket went for a two-stop, and it was very close at the end of the feature race there, as Rocket is now already side by side with Lord Tans. Oh, maybe not quite as side by side as it seemed, but he should be able to make a few moves here, as both Ferraris are still trying to find a way past Chaos. We see Chaos just barely holding out in front of Khan here. Bit of a touch from these cars, and Chaos breaks really defensive here. Just about manages to get it stopped, holds the line and squeezes just a little bit Khan there in the corner. This has allowed Juho to just swoop in and challenge. Oh my lord, what did we see here? So this was a rather huge incident we saw here. Let's see what happened. So Chaos Druid had a bit of a moment with Khan, but at the same time Juho and Kilev had a bit of a contact, Juho being squeezed by the Ferrari driver, and we see HK joining this fun, and just impossible to avoid any of these cars. And also Danger Mouse somehow managed to get clean through all of that, but it seems I have missed something here as well, as Chicken Picnic dives into the pits to get off those medium tires on lap 12, but Dr. Resty has caught up to Boa and managed to just grab the inside line in the final chicane and take second position off of the BMW driver. Yeah, Boa must have had a bit of a moment there, as Juho is now up into 5th, so Juho doing great so far in the races. It seemed HK dive into the pits, unless I am wrong. Let's see where our race leader will come out here. Chicken Picnic on the hard tires will probably try and go to the end of the race on these tires, and he's out in 6th place. Rocket is up into 8th at the moment, 9th at the moment, but of course he'll be having one more pit stop to perform, because he started on the medium tires and he's still on the medium tires right now. Let's have a look at our current race leaders. Boa has managed to stay with Dr. Resty throughout this lap so far, and hasn't made it easy for him to drive off. A sole lap for Boa last time around the 132, so he lost at least 3 seconds to Dr. Resty just on the last tour, which is why Dr. Resty managed to close that gap and just overtake him, as Boa goes into the pits now to get off those medium tires. And what did we just see here? Khan has spun with the Ferrari, must have had a moment there, and loses out quite a few positions here, as we have started lap 14. Let's see our de facto leader, Dr. Resty, out in a bit of clean air now that Boa has pit. There's a bit of a gap between Dr. Resty and Obi-Wan, which is definitely nice to see for him. Juho doing great in the tire department. He's up into 3rd place at the moment. Of course, he hasn't pit yet, but in terms of his main championship rival, Rocket, has yet to pit another time. So at this point in time, Juho is still doing more than enough of considering where it started and what has happened so far in the race. Bit of a moment for a breather, as everyone has sort of found a place on the track and we're just watching 5th placed Chicken Picnic catch up to Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse, of course, on worn medium tires, and Chicken just has more traction even though he's on the hard tires there, and just swoops through the inside and manages to get another good move done to get up into 4th, as Danger Mouse and Obi-Wan, both of the AMG drivers, go into the pits to change tires and refuel. Interesting choice. Obi-Wan comes out on the soft tires now, whereas Danger Mouse still refueling. Rocket is in 8th place. Where did Danger Mouse come? Danger Mouse in 9th place, also on the soft tires. So will they manage to get him working through the end of the race? I'm not sure about it, but I guess it's not impossible. Juho has been doing 15 laps on the medium, so he should be able to do, I don't know, I guess half of those on softs as well. So it'd be interesting to see if the AMG drivers are going for a 2-stopper as well. If yes, that was an interesting way to do it with such a long medium stint, but they're maybe going for a 2 soft stint. Let's see what happened here. Lord Hands, what happened to you? Down into 12th place on the hard tires after pitting all alone in the hairpin and cold hard tires out of the pits. And that's very unfortunate to see. Just spun it on the exit of the corner. No drama, no damage, which is good to see, but losing out some positions there, which is quite unfortunate for Lord Hands. Dr. ST and Juho doing great so far. They're still extending this medium tires stint here, as Chicken on the hard tires. Is he catching up to them? Yes, he is. He's lapping into the 28s on the hard tires, so he's definitely making progress. And let's see, what do we have here? Boa, Rocket and Schumacher squabbling for 5th place, as Schumacher goes very defensive, forces Rocket out wide. This gives Boa the opportunity to take the position on the inside, and it's a drag race between the Porsche and the BMW. As Rocket is just looking left, looking right, trying to find a way past. Boa tried to go for a switchback on Schumacher, but Rocket had that door closed as he dived through the inside and manages to get 2 positions there. Fantastic overtake from Rocket to get up into 5th place here on lap 16 out of 28. Just, of course, Lord Hands, I did my best to catch your spin. My spidey sense was tingling and I had to cycle through the cars to see who that was. So let's see, last lap of Juho was a 29.8, whereas Chicken did a 30.1. So the gap very slightly extending. Chicken not maybe catching up as fast as he hoped, as Obi-Wan in 4th place has the fastest lap of the race in the moment with the soft tires, a 27.4, which is a very good lap. Rocket and Boa now have managed to open up a bit of a gap on Schumacher, the 2 of them, and they are line astern going through the tunnels now. Danger Mouse power sliding there in the in the back of the camera, we just managed to get a glimpse of him catching his AMG before spinning out. As Bo and Rocket seem to be the closest ones on track right now. So we're going to stick with them for a little while and actually scratch that. Let's have a look at Krakavelli and Chaos Druid. Chaos Druid trying to find a way past Krakavelli to take 11th place. Both of these cars have pit, they're on the medium tires. And Krakavelli just brakes far too deep, and this essentially gifts Chaos Druid the position here. As Dr. ST is still going on those medium tires, Juho is as well. They are now about to finish 18 laps on these tires, and this should be nearly enough for them to be sure that they'll be able to make the rest on the soft tires. Till the end of the race, Bo had a penalty to serve, so he's now dropped off of the back of Rocket, but also I'm having a look at this close battle here between Krakavelli and Chaos Druid. Chaos, of course, managed to get the position half a lap ago, but hasn't managed to open up a gap just yet. I'm still very curious to see Dr. ST finally pits to get off the medium tires. Will Juho pit as well? Juho dives into the pits and he crossed the white line but realized it and went back on the track, and so as to not suffer the penalty. I really hope his fuel lasts for another lap, as Chicken Picnic is already all over the back of the BMW with Obi-Wan right behind them as well. So Chicken makes quick work of the very worn, tired BMW, manages to grab the inside line and just use superior traction on the exit of the corner. Dr. ST out in 5th place on the soft tires, of course, and Rocket still on the mediums. Was I wrong in observing that Rocket was on the mediums from the very start? I kind of think he did 2 stints on the mediums, this is his second one, but I'm just not sure. I'll probably go back and check it if I don't see another pit stop. As Obi-Wan has now caught up to the back of Juho and manages to dive down the inside of the hairpin, grab that position. Will Juho manage to make the pit this time? Yes, he does. Dives into the pits to finally get off those soft tires. This promotes Rocket up into 3rd place, which is a great place to be. And I really hope I am wrong about the tires. Boa has gone into the pits. Why has Boa gone into the pits? Engine damage, so he must have had a moment. Changing tires. He just changed tires. He must have had a moment, probably blaming the worn out soft tires. Let's see what's happening out in front. Chicken Picnic in the lead of the race, but being caught up by Obi-Wan, who is on the soft tires. But I think Obi-Wan might have a hard time making those tires work for 9 more laps. Be interesting to see if he manages to get it done. A bit further back in 6th place, Juho has come out on the soft tires, right ahead of Kilif's Ferrari on the mediums, and Juho should be able to use the tire advantage as we see HK go extremely wide after the tunnel and Boa out on the soft tires again. Let's shuffle through the cars. Let's see where Lord Hans is. See if he's going in the right direction after the hairpin through the tunnels, which is good to see this time around. As Obi-Wan is ever so slightly catching Chicken. HK definitely did use the sports line there. Didn't quite manage to find the benefit of it though. So Rocket up into third place at the moment, running out of fuel, half-worn medium tires. Being caught by Dr. ST behind him. Dr. ST of course on fresh softs at the moment. Very wide moment there for Rocket, and this very nearly gives the position to Dr. ST, but it's not a place where an overtake can easily happen unless a big mistake happens. We've seen Chicken make a couple of moves here in the twisty bits, which I would wager is just a characteristic of the McLaren mostly to be able to do it. As we see Rocket dive into the bits as Obi-Wan goes for a change of tires as well, so that's very interesting. Danger Mouse goes for tires as well, so Chicken is definitely on a one-stop strategy and he's in the lead of the race at the moment. I don't see how the soft tires will catch up to him in the remaining laps. For the two stoppers it'll be interesting to see, but it would be very hard for them. They'd have to put in some real banker laps. Dr. ST in second place on the soft tires. He has some opportunity to catch up to him. It won't be easy, but if he puts in steady laps, he should be able to. Obi-Wan has come out of the pits in third place, which is very good for him. Juho behind him in fourth, having a fantastic recovery race in the features so far. Rocket down in sixth with a bit of a gap to fifth place car ahead of him. Boa down in seventh place after that pit stop as well. So far it seems the one-stop strategy working out for Chicken Picnic, making it work. The tire wear of that McLaren surely helping out with that. He's steadily lapping into the mid 128s, which is the pace Dr. ST did on the last lap as well, so Dr. ST isn't actually catching up to Chicken despite being on the soft tires here. Juho a 27.8, so he's making some progress on the soft tires. And we don't have quite representable pace from the others on the lap times as they just completed their out laps. Boa did a 27.4, so he's catching up just a little bit as well. Actually, let's see from Chicken. So Chicken is on a one-stop, and then Dr. ST, I believe, is also on a one-stop strategy. Obi-Wan two-stopped, Juho one-stopped, Killev one-stopped, Rocket two-stopped. So a bit of a mix here in the top 10, I would say, between the one-stop and the two-stop. But it seems that Chicken has found the biggest benefit out of the one-stop here, as Lord Hans comes out of the pits on fresh soft tires on lap 23, has a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, for crossing the pit entry or exit line. Finally, a bit of a gap has formed in between cars, which allows me to catch my breath a little. Has been a rather close race throughout so far. Starting lap 24 of 28. So just 5 laps remaining, or nearly 4.5 now. Rocket has managed to take the fastest lap of the race with a 27.1. So he's definitely working his way to catch up to other cars. Juho in 4th place, 27.8, 27.9 for his last couple of laps, which is a great pace, but maybe not enough to close the gap up to Dr. S, let alone Chicken Picnic. Out in 1st, he's still lapping in the mid and high 128s, but has a fantastic gap behind him to 2nd place. So all he needs to do is drive the steady pace for a few more laps. Boa and Danger Mouse seem to be the two closest car on track at the moment. It would seem Danger Mouse has fresher, soft tires at the moment, and he's catching up to Boa. Let's see if he'll be able to go for a move here at the end of the tunnels. Maybe not just close enough to even consider it. Still takes a more aggressive inside line here as ball goes just a bit wide. This has opened the door for Danger Mouse, and ball had a bit of a moment, bit of unplanned wall riding there, but at least he got away with it without any kind of damage. And I'm not sure what happened here. So Danger Mouse must have had a bit of a strange moment there, because he stayed a lot on the inside. Maybe he just waited for Boa. I didn't see any contact between those two cars, but there might have been something, and Danger Mouse elected to wait for Boa. At least it looked like he waited for that one. As we see Rocket diving down the inside of Kilife on the medium tires, Rocket on the soft ones. Will he manage to get it stopped here? Just about, and Kilife as well. This has promoted Rocket up into 5th place, and he's right behind the championship leader before the Forest. There was a bit of a gap in their points. Very interesting to see how this unfolds, with Rocket taking a P2 in the sprint race, definitely helping his championship charge here in the last few races. Fantastic pace from him. Obi-Wan in 3rd place, just about 2 lap 16th place. Apology here. As Chicken still steady laps into the mid 28s. Dr. SC has started to drop off the pace a little bit to 29 and 31 on the last couple of laps. He's definitely not being able to catch up, and he also has a huge gap behind him, so his 2nd place is pretty much sealed unless he makes a huge mistake. 3rd place, Obi-Wan, kind of in the same boat, although Juho behind him is a lot closer, but yeah, Obi-Wan can't really afford any mistakes. Kilef has found his way ahead of Rocket once more, so Rocket down into 6th place now on the penultimate lap here. But fighting with Danger Mouse again through the hairpin there, and Bo went a bit wide. Danger Mouse managed to swoop in and take 7th place once more off of him. Let's join Kilef and Rocket, and just in time as Kilef breaks very deep there, and that has allowed Rocket to take 5th position again off of him. Rocket still holding on to the fastest lap of the race, so that's an extra point there, as Bo is definitely struggling with the worn front soft tires of his BMW, but he just needs to survive one more lap here. As Chaos is looking to catch HK for a top 10 finish in the final feature race of the season. Lord Hans serving a bit of a penalty, just being overtaken and lapped by Obi-Wan and now Juho as well. But let's rejoin our race leader for the final few corners here. Managed to make the one-stop strategy work nicely with the McLaren mediums to hards. Interesting choice of tires, but had great pace and great consistency. Another very, very impressive drive from Chicken to take the feature race win at the end of the season. And in 2nd place, great race from Dr. ST to close out the season. Great pace and managed to make the strategy work as well. 2nd place for Dr. ST on the feature race here at Deep Forest. Obi-Wan takes a great 3rd place, finishing out the podium with the MG. 4th place for Juho, great result from him as well. 5th place for Rocket, will it be enough with the fastest lap point as well? Kilef takes 6th place, 7th place for Danger Mouse, 8th place for Boa at the end, just managing to get to the end of the race here. 9th place for Schumacher, 10th for HK, and 11th for Chaos Druid. I think Chaos Druid will be shuffled down because of that penalty. 12th place for Khan, and 13th place for Krakavelli, 14th for Monkan, 15th for Lord Hans, and I believe Balaji has disconnected from the lobby. And let's look at the results. Our championship winner after this race is Rocket, tied at 175 points together with 2nd place Juho. So Rocket is winning this one on a countback, and I believe this is a countback down to 4th place finishes throughout the season, which is, as far as I'm aware, the closest championship victory in ALR in these 16 seasons. 3rd place, just 10 points behind, is Danger Mouse. 4th place, just 1 point more, is Obi-Wan, so great performance from the MG team. 5th place is for Bo in the BMW, just 22 points off the lead. In the Constructors' Championship, the MG team takes the championship just 1 point ahead of 2nd place BMW, and 3rd place a bit further back is the Lexus team. So thank you for joining me throughout season 16, and of course tonight starts the new season of the Esport League in AOR. and tomorrow we will be starting season 17 of our regular Monday championship here in ALR. So I'd very much enjoy it if you join me again for the future races to come.